Halloween's coming, but you know something? Don't go to a graveyard, to a cemetery. Don't play around with that type of stuff. You know, it's not just a joke. It's just not just a myth. Spirits hang around graveyards and cemeteries a lot of times, the wrong kinds of spirits. It's one thing to go there and you say a few prayers and stuff and leave, but when people go out of morbidity, obsession, or ghost hunting for curiosity, man, there can be a lot of trouble. You know, these ghost hunters, they'll go there, and if you're watching that, even on TV, these spirits can come through the screen and infest your home, can affect you. I'm not saying that happens most of the time or even very frequently, but it can happen and you don't even realize it. And if it does, get rid of it, cast it out right away. You know, in England, there's a famous cemetery called Highgate, and the myth there, legend there, stories there are about a vampire. People say they take a picture and there's a grave form, a figure, a man, and other apparitional features there, different figures. Other cemeteries, you know, get a lady in white hitchhiking near a graveyard. You hear that account across the country. And when I think of England, I think of the Beatles, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Do you know that when they first met, they used to hang out at a church graveyard among the graves? And it's curious because later on, both of them said that there were times when writing songs, they felt like they were channeling something, that something was writing the songs, it wasn't them. I think it was Lennon who in one of his last major interviews said he felt like a spirit medium. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Well, in the United States, one of the most famous graveyards is known as the Girard Street Cemetery, New Orleans, land of voodoo. And there, later on, in this grave where thousands have been buried in that area, they built the Superdome football stadium. People think that the New Orleans Saints who play there are cursed. They've gone one time 7 years in a row making a playoffs without winning. I don't know about that. But I remember one Super Bowl when during halftime when Beyonce was performing, all the lights went out very mysteriously. It's pretty curious. Got to be careful with graveyards, cemeteries, those type of things, what you watch, because spirits cling, they can attach. Earthbound spirits, they kind of get trapped here because they can't leave attachments to people, places, things. And they can cause a lot of different problems. It can cause in our lives physical disorders. It can cause, mental disorders, psychological disorders, emotional disorders. And can also cause accidents, a series of unfortunate events.